Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm really glad you're here. So, our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to give you a strictly factual, comprehensive, and very rapid-fire briefing on the top 14 headlines from the Indian National News Digest.
Right.
And this is for Thursday, June 4, 2026. Now, just to lay out the ground rules for how we're doing this, we're going to go through these news items one by one in the exact order we received them.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're treating each one as a distinct, completely isolated event. The goal here is to give you a clear, totally unmuddled understanding of the facts today. No blending things together.
Which is so important right now. I mean, in a world of constant information overload, isolating the facts like this, just keeping them compartmentalized, is honestly the best way to grasp the bigger picture. You have to look at the pieces clearly before you can even try to see the whole board.
Well said. Okay, let's jump right into the first one. I'm going to read this verbatim. Headline: Delhi Hotel Inferno kills 21, triggers chaos, desperate jumps, and political blame.
This is just an absolute tragedy.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this. This was a massive fire at the Flourish Stay B&B in Malviya Nagar, which started at around 8:50 a.m. The toll it's horrific. 21 casualties, and 17 of those were foreigners.
Right, and the fire services did manage to rescue 37 people,
Yeah.
but the scene was just chaotic.
Yeah, people were literally jumping onto mattresses that locals had thrown on the road. And I think of fire safety as a chain, right? Where the weakest link just breaks the whole system. In this case, the weakest link was a single entry and exit route. How does a building like this operate right next to a major world-class facility like Max Hospital?
Well, that's exactly the issue with urban infrastructure vulnerabilities. Being next to a hospital gives a false sense of security, but emergency response times mean nothing if the building itself acts as a bottleneck.
Right.
The structural reality of having one exit completely negates the proximity to medical care.
And now the owner is absconding. They're facing charges under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And inevitably, the political blame game has started. You have MLA Satish Upadhyay on one side and AAP's Somnath Party on the other, just pointing fingers over the response time.
Which, often distracts from the core issue of basic building code compliance.
Exactly. Okay, let's move to our next item entirely. Headline: DK Shivakumar takes oath as Karnataka's 25th chief minister amid cabinet reshuffle and party pressures.
So DK Shivakumar is officially replacing Siddaramaiah, and G. Parameshwara has stepped in as the deputy CM.
Right, and they've inducted 13 ministers. Kind of reminds me of a relay race. They're passing the baton, but they have less than 2 years left on the clock before the next assembly polls. Almost everyone they brought in is a senior leader.
Yeah, mostly veterans.
Except for one new face, Dr. Yathindra Siddaramaiah.
What's fascinating here is the heavy reliance on those senior ministers. It's a very deliberate strategy to manage dissent.
Oh, because of the upcoming polls.
Exactly. They have the June 18 Rajya Sabha and Legislative Council polls coming up. So maintaining internal peace is priority number one. They can't afford factionalism right now.
Which explains the highly orchestrated nature of the oath ceremony. Although there was that brief mix-up, right? They accidentally played the state anthem instead of Vande Mataram.
Right.
A slight hiccup.
But Shivakumar also, notably, took his oath in the name of the seer Veera Gangadhara Ajaya.
Which again is a very specific signaling move to consolidate his base.
Got it. Okay, moving on to our third headline. Headline: Farhad Hakim resigns as Kolkata mayor as Trinamool faces major internal revolt.
This is a significant shakeup. Hakim is 67, and Mamata Banerjee has formally accepted his resignation.
But the bigger story is the sheer scale of the rebellion here. 58 out of 80 MLAs actually went to the Assembly Speaker to back expelled MLA Ritabrata Banerjee for the leader of opposition role.
Right, which completely splits them from Abhishek Banerjee's official choice, Suvandham Chattopadhyay. So my question for you is, what does this all mean for the day-to-day municipal governance of Kolkata? If the mayor resigns amid all this, who is running the city?
Well, the daily administration is going to suffer, undoubtedly. But you have to view local administrative resignations like this as a barometer.
A barometer for what?
For massive organizational instability. When a party suffers a major assembly election defeat, the shockwaves hit the municipal levels first. The administrative paralysis is just a symptom of the larger political fracture.
That makes sense. Okay, let's transition to our next completely separate story. Headline: Calcutta High Court allows Abhishek Banerjee to seek protection as signature forgery row splits Trinamool.
So the High Court has stepped in to allow MP Abhishek Banerjee to seek protection from the CID.
Right, and this is regarding those allegations that he forged the signatures of 12 MLAs on a letter. Plus, at the exact same time, he's
This episode is brought to you by Viore. For Father's Day, give him something built for wherever the day takes him. Viore's performance joggers, breathable polos, and travel-ready layers are made to move. From workouts to downtime, on the clock or off, these are the everyday staples he'll wear on repeat. Get 20% off your first order at Viore.com/Father's Day. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Dealing with an enforcement directorate notice for a primary teacher recruitment scam.
It's a lot of simultaneous pressure, and it's worth noting the MLAs who filed the original complaint have been expelled.
Let me push back on this a bit, though. Is this primarily a legal crisis concerning literal forgery, or is this really just a political maneuver utilizing the courts?
Honestly, it's where the two intersect. Legal challenges are converging rapidly on the parties second in command. So while the forgery investigation is a strict legal process, the environment around it, the timing of the ED notices, the internal fractures, makes it deeply political.
Yeah, you really can't separate the two. All right, let's look at our next headline. Headline: TVK gives Congress Tamil Nadu's lone Rajya Sabha by-poll seat, boosting its upper house strength.
Right, so Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay's party, TVK, had a vacant Rajya Sabha seat. This was the one left by AIADMK's C.V. Shanmugam.
And they just handed it over to the Congress, which brings the Congress up to 3 Rajya Sabha seats from the state. But they were very quick to clarify that there was zero discussion about TVK actually joining the NDA bloc.
Yeah, they kept that boundary very firm.
It's like giving away a really valuable piece early in a chess match just to secure a strategic alliance without actually committing your king.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights the mechanics of upper house representation. A Rajya Sabha seat is incredibly valuable currency.
Absolutely.
So by allotting it to a national party, TVK secures goodwill and leverages regional alliances at the center, all without formally compromising their independent regional identity.
It's a very calculated investment.
All right.
Next headline. Headline: IIT panel finds AI tools like Claude used to exploit CBSE portal vulnerabilities.
Now, this is a major cybersecurity development. The panel from IIT Kanpur and IIT Madras confirmed that ethical hackers used an AI, specifically Claude, to expose huge gaps in COEMT Edutech's system.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. We think of AI as a chatbot, right? But here it was used as a high-tech lockpick. It generated 1.5 million hits in 2 minutes on the CBSE portal.
Just massive automated traffic surges.
Exactly. And it forced the board to immediately shift all their data over to AWS India. And now Mehdi and Surdin have had to step in.
It perfectly illustrates the dual-use nature of these advanced AI tools. They can secure systems, but they can also systematically dismantle them.
Yeah, at lightning speed.
And it really shows the urgent need to audit private vendor capabilities. Because if an ethical hacker can do this in 2 minutes, malicious actors are likely already trying.
That is a terrifying thought. Okay, moving to our next item. Headline: U.S.-India trade deal nearing completion as final technical issues under review.
So this comes from Sergio Gore, stating the deal is 99% complete.
99%. And just to put this in perspective, we are talking about a bilateral trade relationship that grew from $20 billion to $220 billion over 2 decades. And now they expect closure within weeks.
Right, with just 1% of technical issues left.
It's like running a marathon, and that last mile is strictly technical rather than political, right?
Yeah.
The heavy lifting is done.
Exactly. When a deal of this scale gets to the 99% mark, the broad political concessions have already been made.
So what are these technical issues usually?
Usually at this final stage, it entails standardizing customs protocols, very granular tariff classifications, or specific legal phrasing and dispute mechanisms. It's the fine print of a $220 billion relationship.
Right, the lawyers taking over. Okay, next up, headline: Cockroach Janta Party appoints 3 new spokespersons ahead of education protest.
This is a newly founded party by Abhijit Dipke, and they are gearing up for a major protest on June 6, demanding the Union Education Minister's resignation over the NEET leak.
But look at the names of these new spokespersons.
Yeah.
You have Sarav Das, Vijeta Dahiya, and Ashutosh Ranka. I have to question the contrast here. You have this incredibly unconventional, almost meme-like party named Cockroach Janta Party, but the leadership has this elite, highly educated professional background.
It's a very modern political strategy.
Oh, so?
While youth-centric movements are actively reshaping political discourse, the absurd name grabs attention, it plays the social media algorithm perfectly.
Oh, I see.
But then, when you look closer, the credentialed spokespersons give the movement immediate intellectual weight. It's a way of leveraging internet culture to highlight very serious systemic institutional failures.
Get them in the door with a joke and then hit them with the facts.
Precisely.
Okay, let's read the next headline. Headline: 3 arrested after attack on Khan Sir Coaching Center in Patna.
This was a severe incident of vandalism on June 2 at Khan Global Studies. A security guard was injured during the attack.
And the police arrested 3 people, including Roshan Anand, who is the director of Arrival Institute, Jan Bindu. Khan Sir's...
Hey, Fidelity. Can I get a second opinion on stocks in the Fidelity app?
With Fidelity, it's easy to get an outside opinion from independent experts in a single score.
And then?
When you're ready, trade U.S. stocks and ETFs with no commissions.
That's right.
I am always right.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. $0 commission does not apply to customers designated by Fidelity as a professional equity trader. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a service fee of $100. See details at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
famous for this low-cost, high-volume teaching model. It feels like aggressive corporate espionage, but it's taking place in the education sector.
That's exactly what it is. It reflects the intense commercialization of education right now.
Yeah.
When a low-cost model disrupts a highly lucrative market, the legacy players react aggressively, and the socioeconomic vulnerabilities of the students are completely exploited in the middle of this turf war.
Which is why the government is apparently planning to draft a policy to regulate these coaching rivalries. It's getting out of hand.
It's become a law and order issue, not just an educational one.
Right. Okay, moving on to our next piece of news. Headline: Annamalai quits BJP, plans new political movement after meeting top leadership.
So on June 2, 2026, K. Annamalai officially resigned. He met with Amit Shah and other top leaders, but he is moving forward with plans to start a regional movement that will transition into a political party.
And his background is fascinating. He went from an IPS officer to the Tamil Nadu state chief from 2021 to 2025. But why would a prominent figure like him step back from a massive national machine to start a brand new regional movement totally from scratch?
This raises an important question about Tamil Nadu politics.
Which is...
The state has a unique dynamic where regional identity and Dravidian ideology dominate. National parties have historically struggled to make deep grassroots inroads. Annamalai likely realizes that a purely regional vehicle is historically more viable for capturing actual electoral power there than operating as a branch of a national entity.
Ah, so it's a structural realization. Very interesting. Okay, let's look at sports. Headline: Shivakumar Yadav, set to be removed as India's T20 captain. Iyer and Tilak lead race to replace him.
The BCCI Apex Council is likely making the call to drop Yadav entirely, both as captain and player.
And this is after about 18 months of pretty poor form. It's like a brilliant lead actor who just needs to step back into a supporting role to rediscover his rhythm. You know, the pressure at the top is just too much right now.
It is. The immense pressure of balancing your individual athletic form with the strategic, mental demands of national captaincy can break even the best players.
So who replaces him? We have Shreyas Iyer, who has the IPL winner credentials, but apparently Gautam Gambhir has reservations about him and prefers Sanju Samson. And then there's Tilak Varma, who is being looked at as a long-term option.
It's a classic debate between rewarding immediate tactical success versus investing in long-term developmental stability.
Yeah, that will be a tough call for the board. Let's move to our next headline. Headline: Pragnananda defeats Carlsen again, as Gukesh and Divya suffer classical losses at Norway Chess.
This was a grueling 50-move victory for Pragnananda over Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, he exploited a pretty massive blunder by Carlsen move 48, king to f4. Let me push back on the narrative here, though. Is Carlsen just having a bad couple of weeks, or are we actually witnessing a permanent changing of the guard in global chess?
It's more about the specific tactical nuances of the game today.
How so?
Classical chess requires immense stamina. The older generation relies heavily on positional grinding, but the younger generation, they play with this fearless, highly active, computer-assisted preparation. They push incredibly complex positions early on, and that pressure forces blunders, even from someone like Carlsen. But, you know, it's a double-edged sword.
Because of the losses for the other young players?
Exactly. D. Gukesh lost to Alireza Firouzja, and Divya Deshmukh lost to Bibisara Asobayeva. That hyperactive play carries massive risks if the stamina fails.
High risk, high reward. Okay, our next story. Headline: Cabinet clears €10,000 ATF stabilization fund to shield airlines from jet fuel surge.
So aviation turbine fuel, or ATF, just jumped from 60.5 to 142 per liter.
That is a massive spike.
Yeah.
And it led to major airlines canceling 250 daily flights.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
So the government has stepped in with this interest-free advance to the oil marketing companies, the OMCs. It acts like a giant economic shock absorber designed to prevent massive turbulence for everyday flyers.
That's a good way to describe it. It's a revolving fund. The OMCs get the cash injection to absorb the international price shock.
But there's a condition for the airlines.
Right. The airlines are required to exclusively buy their fuel from these specific OMCs for up to 3 years. So it stabilizes the current crisis, yes. But the elephant in the room remains long-term tax reforms on aviation fuel. This fund is a temporary bridge, not a permanent structural fix.
A Band-Aid on a bigger problem. Okay, let's slow down for our final headline today. Headline: Indian national killed as Iranian strikes hit Kuwait International Airport.
This happened on June 3. Iranian strikes hit Terminal 1 in Kuwait.
And tragically, there was 1 Indian fatality and 63 total injuries. This brings the total number of Indian nationals killed in these regional hostilities to 10 since February 28. The Ministry of External Affairs has issued a strong condemnation, and Kuwait has suspended all airport traffic. We just have to deeply acknowledge the human cost here. It's the tragedy of civilians just caught up in geopolitical crossfire.
It requires a very solemn context. We're talking about the profound vulnerabilities of expatriate workforces. Millions of people travel to these volatile geopolitical zones simply to earn a living. They are essential to the economies of the host countries, but they have absolutely no diplomatic shield when regional conflicts erupt. They bear the most severe consequences of state-level warfare.
It's truly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. I want to thank our expert for the disciplined, really clear-eyed analysis of what is a highly complex news day. And to you listening, thank you for sticking through 14 distinct, intensive factual summaries.
It's been a heavy day. And today we compartmentalized 14 vastly different events, from algorithms hacking educational portals to fires in local businesses to geopolitical strikes in Kuwait.
Yeah.
It forces us to ask a really important question. In a world where the scale of news ranges from a single chess move in Norway to a massive trade deal in Washington, how do we train our minds to absorb reality without losing our sense of proportion?
That is exactly the thought I want you to leave with today. How do we keep our sense of proportion? Keep seeking out the facts, keep asking questions, and we will be back here next time to help you dive into the news again. Take care.